What if the first sign of a hidden imbalance isn't a lab test, but the way your hair looks in the mirror? By the time many women reach 55, strands feel drier, lighter in color, and easier to break. That shift isn't simply old age, it's your biology asking for help. I'm Dr. Mara Collins, board-certified OBGYN with 15 plus years caring for women through menopause and beyond. When patients sit down in my clinic, I often hear a soft version of the same line. My hair used to feel alive. Now it feels tired. I understand that feeling. And here's the truth I share gently but clearly. Hair is not just cosmetic. It's a dashboard. It reflects hormone changes and the status of key minerals your cells use every hour of the day. Today, let's talk about 3 quiet pillars that often slip under the radar after 50: copper, zinc, and iron, and how to restore them safely through everyday foods. No hype, no extremes, just physiology you can work with. Copper, the color guardian. Before we talk about gray hairs, we need to talk about how color is born. Inside each follicle live tiny pigment artists called melanocytes. They craft your hair's tone using melanin. The tool that lets those artists do their job is an enzyme named tyrosinase, and that enzyme depends on copper. When copper runs low, tyrosinase slows down. Melanin production stutters. New growth comes in with less depth, less warmth, and more silver. That change often accelerates after menopause. Estrogen declines, digestion shifts, and micronutrient absorption can dip even if you eat pretty well. You might not feel a dramatic symptom at first, just a gradual washout of color and a sense that hair has lost its spark. But copper's role goes beyond shade. It helps support collagen formation, keeps blood vessels flexible, and assists with oxygen delivery to the scalp. When collagen scaffolding softens, follicles lose structural support. Strands grow in finer and snap more easily. Patients describe it as fatigued hair. When we bring copper intake back to a healthy range using food, I often see a quiet but clear shift. Color looks richer, the scalp feels calmer, and even skin tone can appear a touch more luminous because the same networks that serve your follicles serve your face. Simple ways to nudge copper through food. No rigid plans, no pricey products, just consistent meals. Cooked mushrooms, shiitake, portobello, a few times per week. A small handful of cashews or almonds as an afternoon bridge between meals. A square of 70+% dark chocolate after dinner. Satisfying and supportive. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, chickpeas tossed into salads, and roasted sweet potato with a drizzle of olive oil. For seafood lovers, shrimp, crab, salmon, bringing copper plus healthy fats that support circulation to the scalp. Pair copper-rich foods with vitamin C, lemon, orange slices, bell peppers. That simple pairing can enhance how your body uses the mineral. One of my patients told me, "It felt like my hair woke up." She didn't overhaul her life, she added copper-friendly foods and kept going. Over a few months, warmth returned to her color, breakage eased, and her energy steadied. That's copper acting as both a pigment partner and a cellular shield, helping buffer follicles from oxidative stress, sun, pollution, hormonal fluctuations. With regular hydration and steady sleep, you give those defenses a chance to work. Think of copper as the keeper of tone from within. Quiet, reliable, and easy to support with a normal pantry.
Zinc, the follicle builder. If copper is the artist, zinc is the architect. Deep inside the bulb of each follicle, cells are dividing rapidly to make keratin, the protein backbone of your hair. Zinc helps those cells stay on schedule. When zinc is low, that building crew slows. Inflammation creeps into the follicle environment. Strands emerge thinner, weaker, and more likely to shed. Why is zinc commonly low after 50? Stomach acid tends to decline with age. Certain medications can reduce absorption. Hormonal transitions shift how minerals are distributed. Add stress and irregular meals, and you have a recipe for low-grade depletion you don't feel immediately until you notice more hairs on the brush. Zinc also has a quiet relationship with thyroid and adrenal balance, and it helps modulate progesterone pathways, systems that influence hair density and scalp comfort. This is why tough seasons of stress, poor sleep, or tea and toast diets can show up on your head weeks later. Practical ways to bring zinc back: through food first. Pumpkin seeds, almonds, chia sprinkled over oatmeal or yogurt, Greek yogurt, eggs, and lean beef, steady protein plus zinc for follicle repair. If you enjoy seafood, oysters and salmon deliver zinc and omega-3s, a calming combination for an irritated scalp. Keep an eye on protein overall. Without adequate protein, zinc can't run its repair jobs well. Zinc supports wound healing, helps balance scalp oils, and partners with your immune system. In clinic, when women correct a zinc shortfall with consistent meals, they often report less shedding and softer texture within a few months before we add any topical steps. It's not flashy, but it's foundational. Remember, hair health isn't a surface project. It's a cellular story written by nutrition, hormones, sleep, and stress habits. Zinc may not trend on social media like biotin, but follicles depend on it the way a builder depends on sturdy scaffolding. A calm and sustainable approach. I'm not here to sell miracles. I'm here to help you stack small wins. Begin with copper-friendly foods. Layer in zinc-rich choices. Notice how your scalp feels, how your energy holds through the afternoon, how your brush looks at the end of the day. These are gentle biofeedback signals that you're on the right path. In the next part, we'll add the third pillar, iron, the oxygen carrier, and then pull everything together into a simple weekly plan you can actually live with. If this is speaking to you, you're not alone. Tell me where you're watching from in your age group in the comments. I read every note. And if you find this helpful, feel free to share it with a friend who needs a steady, science-based nudge. When we talk about beauty, we often think of color, shine, and volume. But what truly gives life to your hair is far more fundamental: oxygen. I'm Dr. Mara Collins, and if you've been following along, you now understand how copper restores color, zinc rebuilds structure. But there's a third mineral that ties everything together, the one that delivers oxygen to every single cell, including the tiny bulbs that feed your hair. When hair runs out of breath. Every cell in your body depends on oxygen, and your hair follicles are no exception. When oxygen delivery slows, your scalp begins to hold its breath. You may not notice it at first, just a little extra shedding, a duller tone, a loss of that soft bounce when you comb your hair. But deep inside, the follicles are struggling. Without enough oxygen, their energy factories, the mitochondria, can't work at full capacity. Hair growth slows, strands become thin, fragile, lifeless. The most common culprit, low iron levels. After 50, and especially after menopause, the body's ability to absorb and store iron declines. Estrogen, which once helped regulate iron metabolism, drops sharply. At the same time, stomach acid, essential for breaking down iron, also decreases. Even if you eat well, your body may not be capturing what it needs. That's why so many women say, I eat enough, I take care of myself, but I still feel exhausted and my hair keeps thinning. It's not your imagination. It's your body prioritizing survival, sending oxygen to the heart and brain first, leaving your scalp and skin for later. The chain reaction of deficiency. When iron drops, something called ferritin, the protein that stores iron, also falls. Ferritin is like your body's iron savings account. Once that account runs low, your cells start rationing oxygen. You might feel constant tiredness even after sleeping well, paler skin or lips, colder hands and feet, slower hair growth or diffuse shedding. In clinical practice, I see this pattern repeatedly. A woman walks in thinking it's stress or hormones alone, but her blood tests reveal the real story: ferritin levels quietly depleting. When we restore those levels naturally, something remarkable happens. Her energy returns, her scalp warms up, and hair starts to regain its density and shine. Restoring iron, the gentle way. You don't need radical diets or pills right away. The body responds beautifully to food-based correction if you give it time and consistency. Here's where to start. 1. Include iron-rich foods regularly. Spinach, kale, and beet greens, rich in non-heme iron and antioxidants. Lentils, chickpeas, and beans, perfect for soups or salads. Eggs, salmon, sardines, and lean beef are excellent sources of heme iron, which the body absorbs more easily. 2. Pair them wisely. Vitamin C enhances iron absorption dramatically. A squeeze of lemon over sautéed greens, a handful of strawberries after lunch, or red bell peppers in your dinner stir-fry. These simple touches can make a measurable difference. 3. Watch your timing. Tea and coffee, as comforting as they are, contain tannins that block iron uptake if consumed right after meals. Wait at least an hour before sipping your brew, and your body will thank you. Linda came to me feeling chronically drained. Her hairbrush was filling faster than usual, and her skin had lost its warmth. Her diet seemed fine, lots of vegetables, some fish, the occasional smoothie. But when we checked her ferritin levels, they were barely half of what they should be. Instead of supplements, I asked her to build an iron rhythm through meals. Spinach with olive oil and lemon twice a week, a lentil stew with tomatoes and herbs, grilled salmon on Sundays, and one simple change: coffee after breakfast, not during. 8 weeks later, she returned smiling. "I didn't realize how cold my scalp used to feel," she said. "Now it feels alive again." Her hairline had stopped receding, and her natural shine was coming back. That's the subtle magic of oxygen returning where it belongs, the deeper gift of iron. Iron isn't only about hair. It's the mineral of vitality. It fuels collagen formation, stabilizes mood, supports thyroid balance, and strengthens immunity. When your blood carries oxygen efficiently, your body no longer runs on survival mode, it operates with flow. And when circulation returns to your scalp, follicles sense it instantly. They begin to wake up, resuming growth that had quietly paused months earlier. So if you've been feeling tired, or your hair seems to have lost its rhythm, take it as an invitation, not a failure. Your body isn't broken. It's just asking for oxygen. In the next part, we'll explore how iron, zinc, and copper work together, 3 elements dancing in harmony to rebuild not just your hair, but your entire sense of vitality. Because health isn't about chasing youth. It's about reminding your body how to thrive again, one breath, one nutrient, one balanced meal at a time. When women ask me, "Doctor, should I just take a supplement for each mineral?" I smile gently and shake my head. Because your body isn't built to function on isolated parts. It's an orchestra, a living symphony where every element plays in time with the others. I'm Dr. Mara Collins, and in our last 2 talks, we explored how copper brings color back, zinc strengthens the roots, and iron revives circulation. But here's the real secret. None of these minerals can do their job alone. Your health, your energy, your glow, even the way your hair grows, depends on how well they cooperate. The science of synergy. Copper, zinc, and iron share a delicate relationship. When one falls out of balance, the others struggle to perform. Think of them as musicians in a trio, each one powerful, but only breathtaking when they play in sync. Copper helps your body absorb and utilize iron. Without it, even if your meals are iron-rich, oxygen delivery to your scalp will lag. Zinc, meanwhile, keeps the enzymes in charge of this process stable, ensuring that iron goes where it's needed and doesn't build up in the wrong places. And when iron levels return to normal, circulation improves, helping both copper and zinc reach the cells that rely on them. If one instrument goes out of tune, say you supplement too much zinc without balancing copper, the harmony breaks. That's why many women, even when taking individual minerals, still feel tired or see no improvement in their hair. It's not deficiency, it's imbalance.
The natural way to balance. Your body was never designed to rely on capsules. It was designed for food. Diverse, colorful, living food that naturally combines nutrients in the right proportions. Here's an example of what I often recommend to patients who want to rebuild this internal balance. A warm bowl of sautéed spinach with garlic and olive oil, rich in iron and plant antioxidants. Add a scoop of lentils for steady protein and more iron. Sprinkle a handful of roasted pumpkin seeds for zinc. Finish with a squeeze of fresh lemon juice to boost iron absorption and maybe a few shavings of dark chocolate for copper and flavor. In one simple meal, you've created harmony. Iron, zinc, and copper all present, all supporting each other's roles. No extremes, no complicated diet, just a plate full of synergy. Even the way you cook can preserve that harmony. Slow simmer beans instead of boiling them harshly. Steam greens gently to protect their minerals. Roast nuts and seeds at low temperatures to avoid damaging their oils. If you use a cast iron pan or copper bottom cookware, trace amounts of these minerals even infuse into your meals naturally, a quiet gift from the kitchen to your cells. The subtle shifts you'll feel. When these three minerals find balance again, the results aren't sudden. They're gradual, deep, and lasting. First, your circulation improves. You may notice warmer hands and feet, a slight glow returning to your skin. Then your energy steadies. The mid-afternoon crash fades. Your mornings feel lighter. Finally, your hair responds. The scalp feels alive again, a gentle warmth when you brush, less shedding, strands that grow back thicker and more resilient. These small signs are your body whispering, "Thank you, I remember how to heal." Nature's intelligence. The more I study women's health, the more I'm amazed by nature's design. Foods that are rich in one mineral almost always contain traces of the others, as if the earth itself understood the balance we'd need later in life. A piece of salmon carries both iron and zinc, along with a trace of copper. Sweet potatoes and kale bring copper and support the enzymes that depend on zinc. Beans and greens work hand in hand to provide iron and the cofactors that help you use it. Nothing in nature works alone. Neither should we. Restoring trust in your body. When you start nourishing this trio, not through fear or restriction, but through awareness, something more profound happens than just hair repair. You begin to trust your body again. You start to see that healing isn't about reversing time, it's about restoring rhythm. Women often tell me, "I feel calmer, clearer, more focused." That's because balance inside the body creates balance in the mind. When your cells finally receive the oxygen, minerals, and stability they've been craving, your nervous system follows. You stop surviving. You start thriving. In the next and final part, we'll translate all of this science into daily habits, small, practical steps to help you rebuild this mineral harmony day by day. Because the real magic doesn't happen in theory. It happens at your table, in your kitchen, and within the quiet intelligence of your own body. Your cells already know how to heal. All they've been waiting for
is you. Understanding the science behind your body is powerful, but applying it gently, day by day, is where real transformation begins. I'm Dr. Mara Collins, and if you've been following our journey, you now know how copper, zinc, and iron form the foundation of vibrant hair, balanced hormones, and lasting vitality after 50. Now, let's turn that knowledge into something living, a rhythm your body can rely on.
Morning, awakened circulation. When you wake up, your body is naturally shifting from rest to motion. This is the perfect moment to support oxygen flow and metabolism. Start your morning with warm water and a squeeze of lemon. It's not just hydration, it's a signal to your digestive system to start absorbing nutrients efficiently. For breakfast, think light yet purposeful. A bowl of Greek yogurt topped with pumpkin seeds and chia seeds, your zinc and protein foundation. A handful of berries for vitamin C to aid mineral absorption. Or, if you prefer something savory, a soft boiled egg with avocado and a slice of whole grain toast. This combination supports thyroid and adrenal balance, two systems that quietly shape hair growth and energy throughout the day. And one small but vital detail, step outside for 10 to 15 minutes of natural light. That morning sunlight sets your circadian rhythm, improves iron metabolism, and steadies hormone function, all while boosting your mood. Midday, feed the builders. Your midday meal is where mineral harmony thrives. The key is color, variety, and mindful pairing. Here's an example of a synergistic lunch I often recommend to patients. Spinach sautéed with garlic and olive oil, iron and copper. Lentils or chickpeas for plant-based protein. Grilled salmon for zinc, iron, and omega-3s. A squeeze of lemon or a side of red bell peppers for vitamin C. A few almonds or dark chocolate shavings to complete the copper-zinc balance. This kind of plate doesn't just nourish your cells, it re-educates them. Every bite reinforces the message you're safe, supported, and supplied. Try to enjoy your meals slowly, without distractions. Digestion improves when your nervous system is calm, and better digestion means better absorption, especially of trace minerals like iron and zinc. If you drink tea or coffee, wait 1 hour after your meal. It may seem trivial, but that short delay can dramatically improve your body's ability to absorb iron. Evening, repair and reset. Your nighttime routine is where regeneration happens. The body uses rest to rebuild collagen, repair tissues, and regulate hormones, the same processes that keep your hair strong and skin radiant. For dinner, choose something easy to digest but nourishing. Steamed vegetables with olive oil, baked sweet potato, a gentle source of copper, a serving of fish, tofu, or lean beef for zinc and iron, a few slices of orange or kiwi for vitamin C. And after your meal, slow everything down. Turn off harsh lighting, breathe deeply. That moment of stillness before bed lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that, when left high, blocks nutrient absorption and weakens follicles over time. A calm nervous system allows minerals to travel where they're needed most, into the skin, into the scalp, into the tiny matrix where hair begins. Weekly rituals that strengthen from within. Once or twice a week, add these small but powerful rituals. A copper-rich meal, mushrooms sautéed with herbs, a few cashews, or a piece of dark chocolate. An iron-focused day, spinach, lentils, eggs, and citrus pairings. A zinc-supporting snack, a handful of pumpkin seeds or Greek yogurt between meals. None of these are rigid rules. They're ways to restore conversation with your body, quiet, nourishing, consistent. And over time, consistency always outperforms intensity. Signs of healing to look for. When this rhythm settles in, you'll begin noticing subtle but undeniable shifts. Your scalp feels warmer and more alive. Hair sheds less and grows back faster.
skin tone evens out with a healthy glow. Energy remains steady, no more mid-afternoon crashes. You sleep more deeply, waking up clear-headed. These aren't coincidences. They're the visible signatures of internal harmony. A deeper kind of beauty. At this stage of life, beauty isn't about chasing youth. It's about honoring the intelligence of your body. Every cell remembers how to repair. It just needs the right tools. When copper, zinc, and iron move in balance, they awaken the same quiet rhythm that once made your hair shimmer in the sunlight, your skin flush with warmth, your energy steady from dawn to dusk. This isn't anti-aging, it's pro-living.
So, here's my invitation to you. Start small. Eat consciously. Listen to your body's whispers instead of waiting for its shouts. Every mindful meal is a love letter to your cells. Every calm night is a promise of repair. And every choice you make to nourish rather than restrict is a step toward harmony, not just in your body, but in your spirit. Because when your body feels supported, it doesn't just look alive, it remembers how to be alive. If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you. Share your age or the country you're watching from in the comments. I read each one personally. And if you believe more women deserve to understand their bodies this way, share this video with them. Together, we can remind women everywhere that after 50 isn't the end of beauty, it's the beginning of wisdom. Because your body doesn't need to be younger. It only needs to be nourished, respected, and allowed to thrive exactly as it was designed to. As a doctor, I've seen hundreds of women rediscover their glow after 50, not by chasing youth, but by listening to their bodies again. Because true health isn't built in a day, and it isn't found in a pill bottle. It's built meal by meal, thought by thought, in the quiet moments when you decide to take care of yourself instead of apologizing for your age. I'm Dr. Mara Collins, and this final part isn't just about science. It's about you, your story, your rhythm, your return to balance. Your hair as a messenger, not a problem. When you run your fingers through your hair, you're not just touching strands of protein. You're touching a living record of your body's chemistry. Every color shift, every change in texture, every strand that falls before its time, it's your body communicating in its own gentle way. The dullness, that's your metabolism slowing from mineral imbalance. The thinning, that's circulation and oxygen asking to be restored. The silver streaks that seem to arrive overnight, that's copper whispering, I'm running low. Once you begin to see hair not as vanity, but as a language, something your body uses to speak to you, you can stop feeling frustrated and start feeling curious. Because curiosity leads to healing. The dialogue between you and your body. Health after 50 isn't about control. It's about communication. Every mindful bite of food is a word in that conversation. When you eat consciously, choosing foods that build rather than deplete, your body replies almost instantly. A few weeks of balanced meals, and you'll notice your mornings feel clearer. A month later, your scalp no longer feels tired. And by the second month, something changes when you look in the mirror. You see warmth returning not only to your skin, but to your expression. That's the moment I love most in my patients, when they realize they're not decaying, they're reawakening.
Copper, zinc, and iron. These three minerals are more than nutrients. They're symbols of something deeper. Trust in your body's design. They teach us that healing doesn't require force. It requires relationship. When copper levels rise naturally, pigment returns, proof that the body can still create beauty. When zinc stabilizes, follicles rebuild, proof that regeneration never stopped. When iron replenishes, circulation flows, proof that your heart, your cells, and your energy were only waiting for balance. You see, your body never gave up on you. It's been waiting for you to stop rushing, to stop fighting, and to start feeding it what it understands. Women often ask me, "Doctor, what's the secret to keeping it going?" And I always answer, consistency, not perfection. If one day you skip the spinach or forget your seeds, that's okay. Healing is not a test, it's a rhythm. Each day is a chance to return to the conversation, to say, "I'm listening again." Over time, those small acts of listening become your greatest strength. Because the body doesn't need drama, it needs reliability. It needs to know you're on its side. That's what real self-care means after 50. Loyalty to your own biology. Months into this journey, you may notice something subtle yet powerful. Your hair feels thicker, yes, but that's only the surface. You'll stand taller, breathe deeper, speak with more ease. That's the physiology of confidence returning. When your body is nourished, your mind stops fighting it. The reflection in the mirror no longer feels like a stranger, it feels like home. And that home, strong, kind, beautifully alive, is what your body was trying to lead you back to all along. Now imagine what happens when millions of women begin to rediscover this truth, that aging is not a decline, but a dialogue. When one woman restores her balance, she becomes a beacon for others. That's why I invite you to share this knowledge, not as medical advice, but as lived experience. Tell your sisters, your daughters, your friends that health is not about youth. Beauty is not about symmetry, and vitality doesn't fade with time. It deepens with understanding. Together, we can rebuild what culture forgot to teach us, that women's bodies are not fragile. They are adaptable, intelligent, and capable of renewal at any age. As we close this series, I want to leave you with this truth. Your body doesn't ask for miracles. It asks for minerals, rest, sunlight, breath, and kindness. The same elements that have sustained life since the beginning of time still sustain you now. So as you prepare your next meal or brush your hair in the mirror, remember, you're not just maintaining, you're reviving. Every gentle choice you make is teaching your cells to trust again. Copper restores color. Zinc rebuilds strength. Iron carries oxygen. And you, with patience and care, bring them all together in harmony. If this message touched you, let me know where you're watching from. I read every comment myself. And if you believe another woman could benefit from hearing this, share it with her. Because together, we can create a world where women over 50 don't hide their age. They celebrate it. Where silver strands shine with dignity. Where health is not about fighting time, but flowing with it. And where every woman learns, perhaps for the first time, that her body was never her enemy. It was always her oldest, most loyal friend.